So let's get straight to the first one. Glenmark Pharma, they reported a profit of around 350 crores. They recorded a loss in the second quarter of the previous fiscal. The revenue is up close to 7.5%. They've given their margin guidance as well for the way ahead. To understand more about the way ahead, we are joined by Mr. V.S. Mani, the company's Executive Director and the Global CFO of the company. Hi, Mr. Mani. Good morning and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, let's focus on 2 points first. Your margins in the first half of the year were a little south of around 18%. But for the year, you're guiding for margins of around 19%, which means the second half of the year margins will be better. Tell us the factors that will drive this margin, a better margin in the second half of the year, point number one. And on the US sales, well, it's been more or less flattish or a little bit gloomy out there. And now we have a new president-elect in the United States as well. But you believe growth will come back?
Yeah. So thanks for the question. So first and foremost, I think the first half we had a good set of numbers. While the sales grew at about 7% plus, our margins have been closer to about 18%. The second half, we expect that we have a number of respiratory approvals, products awaiting approval. So we expect that that should help us to kind of improve our margins. Also, Ryaltris continues to get, that is our main product that is doing well in the segment across various geographies. That also continues to get approved in a number of other geographies. So all in all, we expect with that to go closer to the 19% that we have guided for the current year. I think, and also the India business continues to do quite well. So I think taking all these factors into account, I think we should come closer to the 19%. As far as the US business is concerned, last couple of years, we didn't have many key launches. And while the erosion is still at about 5% or so, we expect that with our respiratory approvals that we have filings for both nasal sprays as well as MDIs, we expect some of these approvals to come through in the next 6 to 9 months. And that should help us to kind of improve our sales as well as our margins in the US as well.
Right. Mr. Mani, let's talk about the individual opportunities itself. You did speak about Ryaltris. I wanted to understand what's the run rate been in the second quarter? What's the outlook for the next couple of quarters on that one? Because you did indicate a potential of almost $200 to $300 million over the next 3 to 5 years from that, drug. And the second one, you said respiratory approvals are likely in the next 6 to 9 months. Of the 4, how many are likely to come by? And what would the run rate on these, products be once the approvals come by and the scale up there?
Sure. So as far as Ryaltris goes, as I just alluded some time back, we already are approved in about 41 countries and we're looking at about another 11 countries in the current year. In the current quarter, we've done about $20 million. In the first half, we done touched almost 40 million. So this is almost the second year since the launch. It's almost an $80 million product. So I think the way things are going, we are on course to touching the 200 million that we did indicate some time back, as well as on our investor day. So I think all in all, with a couple of key geographies further, getting good product having to get approved, I think this trajectory looks good to reach there. As far as the respiratory other products are concerned, we have a couple of, as we have already said, that we have about 4 products waiting for approval in Europe. We hope that it will happen in the next 6 to 9 months, as well as in the US, we have filed for respiratory products for the nasal sprays, as well as for the MDIs, the Flovent one also we're expecting the approval. So I think these should do decent sales. I mean, hard to put a number on them, but I think these overall the respiratory segment has done well for us.
All right. You don't see new president-elect, President Trump, to be a risk to your business? I'm looking at your North America business. It's degrown by close to around 1% on a year-on-year basis, and on a quarter-quarter basis as well as down close to 5%. Mr. Trump can do anything, but for your business, do you see it as a risk?
So I think obviously price erosions have been part of how the US market has been over the years. But I think over the last 10 years, the industry also seems to have learned a lot of things, how to kind of, put the product approvals, do things in the right time. So I think obviously there will be erosion, but good product approvals will help us to do better sales. And as we said even earlier, that last couple of quarters, we didn't have many new launches. But going forward in 6 to 9 months, we see some better launches coming through. And that should help us to do better. Yeah.
All right.
And also, just to add, would like to add that we have about 8 injectable products also in the US market now. So I think we have a few good products out there. I think it should help us to sort of sustain the sales.
All right, we've spoken about US, we've spoken about Europe, we've spoken about a couple of products. Let's come back home now before we end this conversation. Mr. Mani, India, 14% revenue growth in the second quarter. Some of your hero products out here are likely to be, what the street is most excited about is liraglutide and the GLP-1 opportunity. If you could give us a sense of how, developments out there are panning out and what really is potential revenue from these products for you.
So let me just give a little, sort of outlay of the Indian business for us. So I think over the last few years, we've been growing ahead of the market. So in the current quarter also, we've done almost close to 13.9%. Even if you take MAT September, we're at about 13.1%. Vis-a-vis the IPM growth of 7.6. So we're almost at like 1.5x the market. So I think basically our, our products are doing quite well, and the therapies like cardiac as well as basically derma is doing well, though acute respiratory, there is some slowdown. As far as the liraglutide is concerned, we just launched the product some time back, and I think it's like other GLP-1, this is having a good reception from the basically from the medical fraternity. Difficult to put bigger numbers on that, but I think overall the opportunity of GLP is more than 1,000 crores in India, so I think we should do well in this product. Yeah.
How well, if you could give us a sense?
Difficult to put a number on that as of now, but I think we feel that it should do better. Yeah.
And is the Ichnos stake sale, away for good, or you are still considering that?
So as we just said, our IGI, we have a good product, ISB 2001, and our team in IGI is going to basically present it at the ASH conference for the basically the data, various data points that are there on that. So I think all in all, we expect that this is good news for Ichnos. So I think we'll take it as the time comes by. But obviously, if the products if this does well and able to get good partnerships, so there could be a time in future we could do a stake sale. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Mr. Mani, appreciate you joining in. In fact, today your stock is outperforming what the market is doing because it's down only 0.4% while the markets are seeing a lot of selling pressure. Sounding optimistic about the second half of the year. We'll track these numbers and we'll quiz you at the end of the coming quarter as well. Well, time to shift focus to our special segment where